Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor, for those of you who have never been here before. And today I kind of just wanted to talk a little bit about some things that I think might be in the next expansion pack. I have two overall ideas that I think it might be, that I think you guys might be interested in. I don't know, just based on some different updates that they've made recently, or the sparked challenges or surveys and stuff. I have two very strong ideas. However, they could be completely wrong and this idea could come out of left field, just like Star Wars did. So you never know with the Sims team, you never know what it's going to be, but hopefully it's something interesting. But I have two ideas. Now I want to just say something before that there was an open letter written from Sim Guru Lindsay and the whole Sims team to the community, just letting us know that it's not going to be a couple of things. So in this letter it says, in just a matter of weeks we'll be sharing more about our new expansion pack, which we've been working on since last year. I want to set expectations now that cars, babies, farms, and bunk beds are not part of this expansion pack. We understand how important these features are to you, but we want to be honest that they are not part of this upcoming pack. So we know it's not going to be something like Generations, we know it's not going to be a farming pack, and it's obviously not going to be like an automotive pack. If they try to give us cars in an expansion or a game pack or a stuff pack, I might actually lose it. That has to be a free update at EA. It has to be a free update. Do not do this to me. I will be so mad. Anyway. So these are just some things that I think the next pack might be based on a couple things that I've seen and just, some thoughts I've had recently. So let's just jump in. Just a little disclaimer, this video is entirely speculation, so don't go on Twitter or Instagram or go anywhere and be like, oh, this type of pack confirmed. None of this is legitimate. I'm just talking about what I think it might be because I think that that's really fun to kind of speculate of different things that they could add to the game and all of that. Okay, so the first one is a wedding and romance themed pack. Now the reasons why I think that this might be it is there's two things. So the first reason that I think that this might be it is because right before Star Wars came out, they added a new update that allows you to get married in destination worlds, which you couldn't do before. So you can now get married in Granite Falls. I was like, what is the outdoor retreat world? In Granite Falls, Selva Dorada, and Batu. Sorry for the Star Wars fans out there, but I'm still so annoyed that they did that. But they added that right before Star Wars. So I'm thinking that they kind of slid that in, maybe because there's going to be some kind of a beautiful world that you would want to get married in that's kind of really romantic and beautiful. And I think that that honestly could be a thing. They also recently did a wedding venue challenge and all those Sims Sparked challenges that they've been doing lately. And I think that that could be foreshadowing and maybe they're going to add a wedding venue from one of the winners into the game. That would be really cool, honestly. If one of the people who, maybe one of you guys, I don't know who won. I actually have no idea. But if they added one of the creations from the community, it'd be really, really cool to see it in the game. I don't know, I think that'd be really cool. So some things that I would want to see in this. Okay, I have a pretty long list for things that I would like to see in a wedding and romance pack. So I'm thinking it could be some super romantic world that's just beautiful. I would want there to be, honestly, in my mind, I'm seeing cherry blossom trees, like Animal Crossing, but it could be Japanese themed or something. I feel that's could be really romantic and gorgeous, especially if there's cherry blossoms sometimes. That could be so pretty. But it could have different places to go on dates and a beautiful wedding venue and some cute homes to live in. It could also be kind of a cottagey world because the whole cottage core aesthetic is really popular right now and that feels really romantic to me. And there could be little cottages to live. I don't know, I just really want more stuff, more places that feel more romantic and beautiful and great places to get married or get engaged or do screenshots, all of that. So one thing that I really would want to see in this pack is different date types. The date that we have now is so generic and it's oh, ask out on date. Okay, so we're gonna go to this place. So if you go to a coffee shop, it's all the same things that would happen if you went to a park. So I'd like to see more specific ones. If you have dine out, you could go on a dinner date and go to a restaurant, or you could go maybe on a couples massage spa date, or go to a coffee shop, or different things like that, instead of just one generic date type. And they could have different goals that are more specific to the place that you're actually in, which I think would be very good because I'm sick of all of those dates. And now this doesn't just have to apply to adults and young adults and elders. We could add childhood crushes, which is something I would really, really like to see in the game and just make the children feel more real. Because a wedding and romance pack is definitely going to be more focused on the older life stages. I think that they would need to add a few things like childhood crushes, maybe even going to prom and going on dates and sneaking out for teenagers with their boyfriends or girlfriends or any of that kind of stuff. I also think that they could add an online dating service with a wedding and romance pack, which would be really, really cool. There was definitely a really awesome online dating thing in The Sims 3, which was a great way to make different friends if you wanted to make friends, or romantic relationships, of course. I would love online dating for the 100 Baby Challenge, because sometimes I just don't want to have my sim go out in the world because I don't want to leave her children. And I'm like, okay, I have to go out and meet somebody and find a baby daddy. But if all I had to do was do a few clicks on a computer or on her phone to find her someone to date, that would be chef's kiss, beautiful, wonderful. Another thing I'd love to see brought back to the game is an attraction system, like in The Sims 2. So in The Sims 2, your Sims would be attracted or not attracted to certain Sims based on like different criteria. So there was things like makeup, facial hair, hair color, how far along they were in their career, having different skills, all of that. And I think that that makes a lot more sense, because in The Sims 4, your Sims are kind of just attracted to everybody. Like, you could have them date like Mortimer Goth, but then you could also have them date somebody who is the complete opposite of Mortimer, like someone very poor, but then also date someone very rich, or have someone with facial hair and have someone without facial hair. Like, there isn't even like a gender preference in this, which, like, it is cool that you could date anybody, but it would be nice if you were able to kind of set your gender preference for dating in the like in create a sim settings. I think that would be pretty cool. I just think that having an attraction system would make your Sims feel more real and make dating a little bit harder. And then I feel like if I had those kind of things, I wouldn't go back to dating the same Sims that I always do. Like, I feel like I always date Akira if I'm living in San Myshuno, and I always date Johnny Zest for some reason, just because I know that he'll like take care of me. Like, he just does a good job. Anytime I have a female Sim marry him, he always does a good job like raising the kids and like helping me and like not being a butthole. So he's a pretty good option for a husband. I don't know. I feel like it could be kind of cool to have an interaction where you like not in. I feel like it could kind of be cool to have some kind of different system for attraction instead of just having your Sims date everybody. Another thing I would love to see is more romance interactions. I miss things like that are a bit more goofy, like Goose in The Sims 2. I don't remember if that was in The Sims 3, where like you would go and like grab their butt. I think that's so funny, like grab the booty. I also miss things like cuddling in bed, and all the different kinds of cuddling and slow dancing. There was one in The Sims 2. I don't remember. See, I didn't play that much of The Sims 3 because I was in university, so I was really busy all the time. But in The Sims 2, there was a moment where you could like have them like put their head on their partner's shoulder as they slow dance, and it was so beautiful. And I just think that would be really cool. I also think that a wedding and romance pack would be the perfect spot to bring back the vibrating heart bed or the heart-shaped hot tub or something like that players really want just for nostalgia reasons. Like, I think that that could be a very, very good opportunity for the team to kind of bring something like that in. And the last thing I would love to see in a wedding and romance pack is some kind of honeymoon vacation type, where after your Sims go out on their wedding, you know, they go and they can actually go on a honeymoon somewhere and spend some time, just the two of them, and you can just have like a little vacation before they start having kids. Because right now it just feels like being married is no different than just living together, because there is no moment like a honeymoon, and the weddings don't feel that important. So I really do want to see a bunch of changes in a wedding and romance pack. I think that that could be really cool, but based on a couple little things, I think that it might be an option, because there is a lot of interesting stuff happening. So I only have 2 ideas. The second one is a winter wonderland resort type pack. There's a couple of reasons why I think that this could be the one, because there was a survey, I believe it was late 2019, where there was a whole entire section of the survey that was just asking about snow activities. And this was after Seasons was released, and it was only asking about snow activities. So I was like, okay, are we getting like a winter pack that will let people who don't have Seasons have snow? Because that's quite interesting. So it could be like sledding, snowboarding, ice fishing. There was an entire section. So I really do think that we're going to be getting like a winter mountain world at some point. And in the exact same survey, they asked about resorts and owning a second home. So I think that they could kind of have it be like you could own like a winter like mountain cottage, or also like own a resort on that same mountain. If they had all of that in one pack, I would be honestly so happy. And I think that would be really cool. So of course I would want to see the ability to own a resort as well as just to stay at a resort. I would love for that, because I know that a lot of players love to own their own businesses, and I love to play with it sometimes. So like once in a while I'm like, ooh, let's go own a business in The Sims instead of just having my Sim be a painter and a parent. And then I end up owning this business, and it ends up being a lot of fun, and I want more of that in the game. I want to be able to own a hotel or a resort and have that kind of fun. It's a good time. Also, being able to own a second home is an interesting idea, because I would really like to be able to like have a home in Willow Creek, but then maybe have a beach house in Sulani, or in this winter world have a mountain house. Like having multiple homes could be pretty cool, where you could still like live your regular life and like send your kids to school maybe, I don't know, or just go to vacation in this other world and have it feel different. Like I need things to like break up my gameplay. So like being able to go to different places but still have it be your home is interesting to me. I like that a lot. It's also really interesting to me because one of the things I do in The Sims is I always start with like no money and I try to build up a family, but once I get to like I don't know, like once there's like 50,000 simoleons in the bank, I'm like, okay, I'm done, I'm bored because I have too much money. But I'm like, okay, but if I had to save up to buy a second home, it's like a new goal for me to work towards, which I really, really like the idea of. Also, I really want them to add a whole bunch of new cold weather clothing because I think that we're kind of lacking in that department. A lot of the cold weather clothing is very basic, very boring, and I'm just like, meh. The one that they added, I believe, with Discover University is gorgeous, and there's also a really cute outfit, like a jacket that came with Eco Lifestyle that I really like, but a lot of the stuff with Seasons just seemed too, like, it's not fashionable cold weather clothing, if that makes sense, but I'd love to just see more hats. I'd really like them to fix the way that beanies look on a lot of hairstyles, but I doubt that that would happen with this pack, but you never know, you know? You never know. The biggest issue that I have with this is that if this is what the pack's going to be, if it's going to be a winter wonderland world, I know that the community is going to be in uproar. It's going to be kind of like a My First Pet Stuff part 2, because in that pack, you had cats and dogs, and then you had this other stuff that should have been in cats and dogs, and then it's going to be like, okay, but shouldn't have all of this winter stuff been in Seasons where we got snow and we got winter for the first time? And I think that a lot of people will be bothered by that, and it's understandable, but I do think that they could do it in a way where having Seasons improves this world. So for someone who doesn't have Seasons and they just bought this Winter Wonderland pack that could come out, who knows if it's even ever going to be a thing, but they would only get to see the snow in this one world, and the snow would never change. The snow would kind of just be there all the time. It wouldn't melt, it wouldn't fall, like you wouldn't actually have snowstorms, there wouldn't be blizzards, none of that would happen. And they also wouldn't actually have like the snow deaths either, like the freezing to death, that wouldn't happen. So they don't get a lot of those aspects, so I think that kind of makes it a little bit less bad. I don't know how I feel about the idea of having snow in another type of pack. It just, I don't think it's bad for someone to have Seasons and not to have this pack, but then still get to experience snow. So like, why would I think that someone who, it doesn't make, I don't know. I just want to know like what you guys think in the comments about the idea of getting a Winter Wonderland pack if you have Seasons. Like if that would bother you, if that was also an option, or if it's something where you're like, oh cool, just more stuff to do when it's snowing in a regular time as well. Does it make any sense? I don't know. I just feel like a lot of people are going to be very upset about this, and I just want to see like what the community reaction would be now as opposed to what the community reaction will be if they do this, because it's interesting to see like speculation reactions, if that makes any sense. But anyway, I do think that this could cause a lot of drama for the Sims team. I do think that people would be kind of angry, like My First Pet Stuff, but I don't think it would be to that extent if they did it well. If it was like its own beautiful world, if you could have resorts and you could have a second home, and it just happened to be in a snowy world, I think that they could kind of like toe that line nicely, and it wouldn't be as bad as My First Pet Stuff. But anyway, guys, those are my 2 speculation ideas for what the next expansion pack could be in The Sims 4. If you found either of these ideas interesting, please let me know in the comments down below. I really honestly think that it might be one of these 2 things, but every time that I have an idea of what the next pack is going to be, I'm like, oh, I'm completely incorrect. So it'll probably be something completely different, like Into the Future or something like that I'm just not ready for, or like I just don't expect, but we'll see. They're really just throwing some curveballs lately. Like we got Strangerville last year, we got Star Wars this year, we're getting some weird stuff, and I'm kind of into it, but not with Star Wars. Star Wars I'm not into, I do not support her, and I never will. But anyway, I really hope you're having an awesome day. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.